Thank you for joining me and welcome to How to Draw a Hand. The only supplies needed are a sheet of paper or a couple of sheets of drawing paper, a pencil, and an eraser. For this exercise, you will draw one hand, the opposite of your writing hand, of course. Drawing hands is notoriously tricky, but breaking them down into simple shapes makes it manageable. First, watch and then try. As a practice gesture, draw several quick 30-second sketches of different hand poses, as it helps to build intuition faster than laboring over that one perfect drawing. Keep in mind that you should start with basic shapes. The palm. The palm can be drawn as a squared off pentagon or rounded rectangular shape, slightly wider at the knuckles than the wrist. Fingers. Fingers, sketch 4 lines extending from the top edge of the palm. Keep them roughly parallel, with the middle finger being the longest. Thumb joints. Thumb joints have only 2 segments plus the meaty base. Its range of shape is wider than the fingers. As you build up the structure, consider the knuckles. When you come to this segment of the fingers, mark 3 joints on each finger, 1 where it meets the palm, 2 more along its length. Joints create bends, so your knuckle marks should be somewhat curved. Simplify it first. Get the gestures and the proportions right before adding nails, wrinkles, or shading. Here I have completed 3 different poses within an approximate 30-second time, a little over. Each one is showing different shapes that I would begin to start drawing those hands using simple shapes. Now, when you're ready, feel free to get started. To begin, be sure to be in a quiet, relaxing place. With your drawing paper, pencil, and eraser, you may replay this video and begin. Now, here's a few common tips. Use your own hand as a reference by posing it, as I'm doing on this video, using a snapshot, or look at your hand in the mirror. It might be a good idea to watch the entire video first to give you an idea of how you will go about drawing your hand. I will begin. Note that I'm drawing the palm first, the outside of the back of my hand, rather. I'm making a rectangular square shape. Initially, I'm drawing very lightly. I'm going up to make the thumb with a triangular shape. Next, I'm indicating with lines the fingers. I'm making 4 lines. I'm keeping in mind that the middle finger is the longest line, and the baby finger is the shortest line. Then I'm making efforts to change those lines into triangular shapes. I'm drawing the back of my hand in an upright, straight upright, I'd say curved to the left a little shape. So my hand is upright, curved a little, the fingers are curved a little outward to the left, with the thumb close by the index finger. Now I'm going back in to reshape the thumb to be more accurate and even begin with a nail indication on the thumb. And I'm going up to the index finger and doing the same thing, indicating approximate location of nails, and going to the ring finger, making an approximate of the nail, and finally the smallest finger, making an indication of where the nail will be. I found it helpful to keep the drawing hand on the paper to keep the paper still. I'm now going in to focus on accuracy by looking back and forth at my hand, and I'm making the creases that we have on our fingers. There are 2 on each finger, and then there's the connection to the other finger. So I'm getting approximate distance for the creases that are on the outside of our hand, also on the inside of the hand in the same location. I'm making a marking with approximately the ring will be on the ring finger. I do have a ring on. And I'm going on to the middle finger to do the same thing, the location of the creases in our finger, getting a good estimate of the nail location for the middle finger being at the highest point, indicating where there's the first crease and the second crease on the outside of the hand. Moving over to the index finger, my middle finger has a larger knuckle in the middle, so everybody's hand is uniquely shaped with all the different creases, wrinkles, lines that we should look back and forth at our own finger in order to be as accurate as possible. Indicating now the creases on the index finger, 2 of them, and making sure I bring the line down close to my thumb. The thumb is more in than what I'm making it to be on the drawing. It's something I need to correct. I'm focused on the nail. Sometimes you have to erase quite a bit before you're accurate with what you're drawing. The fat part of my hand, my thumb, and my beginning to go into my arm is actually a little wider, so I need to rectify that. But at this time, I'm going to begin to do some shading over the entire hand. It gives it more depth. Even if you're not melanated, it begins to make your hand look a little more realistic. I'm using light strokes to make shading over the entire hand, very faintly. Now I'm going to erase some lines that I feel shouldn't be there. Feel free to erase at any time. And continue with details that you see on your hand and put them on your drawing. The angle that I see and the angle that you see of the thumb are slightly different. So I'm not seeing as much of a curve as I see in the video. It's indicating quite a curve, and my hand looks more upright than what I actually see. Take your time and continue to show more detail, and the connection in between your fingers should be darker. More shadow shows where areas recede, and the light areas show where it does not go in, it comes outward. So keep that in mind when you're drawing. The darkest areas are areas that go in, and the lightest areas are showing something that's coming out from the paper. Continue until you finish, and be encouraged. If you've never drawn a hand before, drawing hands are very challenging. Feel free at this point to pause the video or watch it all the way to the end and start your hand. if you've watched the video all the way through to this point, congratulations, pat yourself on the back for drawing your very first hand drawing.